from?
My name is Donnie Edwards, and I'm a tribute artist. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And how'd you get started as a tribute artist?
Actually, I got started, but a lot of people tell me I look a lot like Elvis. And in 1996, actually, I met DJ Fontana, George Klein, J.D. Sumner and the Stamps, the Jordanaires and the Sweets, and I actually got to go backstage, and they were all like, "Hey, do you do Elvis?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "You should." And I thought, okay. And then in 2001, I went to Vegas just to go to Vegas, and some of the Elvis guys out there I seen performing told me I should get into it. So a year later, I got going. Did a couple of contests. By 2003, I was really, actually got hired into some shows.
So you've been doing this a long time.
8 years, almost 8 years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any memorable moment on stage?
I have two. I think the two most memorable is in 2006. For the first time, I've been doing this for about 3 years, and I did a show where I actually got to perform my Elvis tribute show with the Jordanaires and DJ Fontana, and then in my 68 set, I got to perform with the Sweet Inspirations.
Wow.
And so that was like, right there was like 7 people that performed with Elvis that I actually got to also perform with, and that was just, it was a dream come true. The other one that's pretty close to that is having a woman actually pass out after she touched my face when I was singing a song, and she just flat out was out, and it actually shocked me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have that happen. I was like, how would Elvis handle that? So he was used to it.
Well,
I think I'd want to know something spiritual, his spiritual side, because it seemed like in the last few years, it seemed like, actually if you look at all throughout the 60s, Elvis was always, I think since he was a kid, was always very spiritual, but I think especially the last few years, I think he wanted to know, why did this happen to me? Who is God? How does this work? I think he really was very spiritual, and I think that's something I'd love to sit down and pick his brain about that.
That would be a wonderful conversation.
It'd be a good conversation, yeah.
Yeah. The tunes, there's so many to pick from, but which ones do you like and which ones do you enjoy performing?
Well, since I was a kid, Suspicious Minds has always been one of my favorite songs. And in fact, as a kid, when I used to watch Elvis, That's the Way It Is, and the Aloha, you would go nuts. I always loved that song. Probably that one, and Can't Help Falling in Love, and like The Wonder of You, which is kind of a song I always dedicate to my wife.
Oh, that's wonderful. And last, what other musical influences do you have?
Oh, wow. Well, see, I grew up with my parents always letting us listen to everything. My mom was a big Patsy Cline fan. She also liked people like the Beach Boys, Anne Murray, so I grew up listening to that. I had uncles who always listened to like the Bee Gees. My father was very much into Sam Cooke, Elvis, Tom Jones, Bobby V, Bobby Vinton, Brooke Benton, people you just don't ever hear about today, who it's almost like people forgot. And these singers, they didn't have all this stuff like they do today. They were just naturally gifted, beautiful singers. And I think it's guys like that who I always looked up to, guys who had that ability to sing just anything and just make the song their own.
Unbelievable. The fans, what would you say to the fans?
I would say to the fans that it's the fans who really are the ones keeping Elvis's legacy alive. You have to be a fan to do what I'm doing. I'm a diehard Elvis fan. I have been since I was a kid. I just always was someone who was caught up in his charisma. I was just always amazed how, after all, even now, I see kids who are 5, 6 years old who just love Elvis. They watch his movies all the time, and it reminds me of how I was as a kid. Even though he's gone, he had so much charisma, and as long as the fans keep seeing that, his legacy will always be there. He'll never go away, and that's awesome to think. Because I know I've met some of the guys and people who knew him, and Elvis used to wonder if people would remember him. Well, I'm happy to say I think he'd be very surprised to see how many people still love him.
Well, congratulations for your efforts, and have a great show tonight.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.